We also Robot Watcher got binoculars and we back. And congrats to my team, you feel me? Got the Smitty jersey on. Shout out Golf Wayne. NFC South chance, baby. We made it. We in the playoffs. Hey, do me a favor. If you like the Panthers, if you like this video, if you like this channel, you have not subscribed yet, what are you waiting on? Go subscribe. Also, if you end up liking this video, do me a favor. Like, comment what you think, if we'll be able to exploit the things that I show you in this. Share to the homies. And if you're on mobile, go ahead and hype this video. And do not forget to go subscribe to the Patreon for exclusive Panthers and draft content. But it's time to get into the video, man. If I sound weird, if I look horrible, if I look weird, it's because I am. I'm sick. You can probably hear it a little bit. I'm fighting. I got my tea. You feel me? I got my tea. So if my voice get a little raspy, I'm going to take a sip in between. But I had to give y'all this video. Like I said, this is a little different. I said this on Twitter. This is a little bit different of a video. But I think y'all like it. So let's get into why I believe these things, these concepts will shred the Rams defense in this playoff game we got against them. Let's get into it. All right, we got to set the stage, man. Looking at this coverage by team or defense throughout the weeks 1 through 16, basically most of the season. The second team, as you see here, is the Rams. I'm going to circle that for you. 2% 0, 16% cover 1 man, 0% cover 2 man, but they run 17% of zone cover 2 and 35% of cover 3. What does that mean? They run 52% of their coverages being cover 2 or cover 3. That's almost more. That's more than half of the game. Now, we got to set the stage of why I think we'll be able to exploit those two specific coverages. Now, a lot of the times when I'm covering this channel, when we talk about zones and things like that, a lot of teams run match zones. The Rams don't really run a lot of match. A lot of times they're just like us. They guard grass. And the main culprits of this is Nate Landman, number 53, linebacker, Omar Speight, their other linebacker, number 48, and their safety that they love to rotate towards the middle of the field, Cam Curl, number 3. Those three love to do two things: guard grass and jump on underneath routes. If you give them a lot of eye candy underneath with something behind them, they're going to jump it. Whether it's in cover 3, whether it's in cover 2, they love to jump. And it is very apparent when they do it out of a rotation. What I mean by a rotation, the Rams love to rotate into coverages. They'll first show you cover 3, then they'll rotate into a cover 2, or they'll show you a lot of guys at the line of scrimmage. Then they'll drop a lot of those guys into a cover 2. That's what they love to do. And with that happening and so much motion going on with the defense, a lot of times these guys' eyes that I just named, Nate Landman, Omar Speight, and Cam Curl, they get caught looking underneath and leave them susceptible things in the back end. Now, with that said, there are going to be 3 concepts that I think, really 4, but 3 concepts that I think will work great against the Rams. We're going to have to throw the ball to win. Simple as that. Our run game has not been that good. So to throw the ball, we need to exploit the defense. And these are 3 things or 3 concepts that I've seen work on tape and things that will hypothetically will work towards their weaknesses and give us a big day passing. So we're going to cover those 3 things. And let's get into that. Shout out to Google so I can show y'all a couple of these. The first thing I want to run, or first thing I want to speak about, the first concept is drive. This is a concept that I have not seen the Panthers run a lot this year, but talking about the weaknesses of their Rams defense, the way that they rotate guys, the way that guys that when they rotate, how their eyes get caught, drive is a concept that I think will work very well and be very fruitful for our offense. What is drive? Basically, it's going to be a shallow to a dig on most plays. And then there's a check down on it. So when you're looking at this one, it's going to be your F is going to be running a drag or a shallow route. Your Y is going to be running a dig that he has a choice to sit down. The backside, that X, you're going to run a go, and then there's a post and a check down. It's a couple of different ways to look at it. At the top, it says man, but it's cut off. But if it's man coverage, you peek that go, and then you go down to the shallow dig. If it's versus a zone or say cover 4, you're going to peek that post first. Then you're going to go to the dig to the shallow. That's basically what drive is. Or there's another one also, as you can see, there's going to be a shallow underneath with the dig behind it and the post and then check down. It's basically the same thing. It's different ways you can run it out of different formations. But at the end of the day, drive is drive. Now, the one that I want to cover is this one right here. Versus zone, work the sail to the dig or sail to dig to shallow. Versus man, immediately go to dig to shallow concept. All right. And that's exactly what the Atlanta Falcons did here. When you load up this play, like I talked about, the Rams love to show a lot of guys towards the line of scrimmage and then rotate back. So when we're looking at this at face value, we can say, hey, if I'm looking at it and they do what they're doing, it could be a fire zone concept. What is that? 3 over, 3 under with an extra man blitzing. But they also could rotate into something called a cover 3 cloud, which basically you cloud that corner defender to get anything underneath shallow, and then you rotate those safeties over top. So it's still a regular cover 3. It's just one corner is going to be cloud coverage, and you're going to drop 2 safeties deep plus an extra corner instead of rotating 1 safety down and dropping 2 corners in the safety. Not that very hard to understand, but what the Rams do here is they go into a max drop Tampa 2. Max drop Tampa 2 is basically cover 2, but you're going to drop an extra defender, so it's 8 guys in coverage versus 3 guys rushing. As you can see, that 8th guy is going to be this defensive tackle right here. He's going to drop into almost like it's not a QB spot. He's going to drop into a shallow zone for crossers or anything like that. And what do the Atlanta Falcons run to beat this? Drive. The same exact drive concept I just showed you, where you're going to have that shallow or that drag from your Z receiver, your dig from your Y, your F is going to be your stop route or something underneath to catch that I. They're going to run it out of a different formation, but it's still the same concept. So on this, you're going to have Drake London running that shallow. He's going to get a shallow cross right across the face of all those guys. Then you're going to have a chip and release dig from Kyle Pitts. It allows Drake London to get going first so guys can see his eyes first. And Kyle Pitts just sneaks behind defenders on this dig. After that, big receiving threat, Bijan Robinson, guys have to account for him. He's just going to run a little shallow stop. What that does is it pulls all the eyes of the defenders. First, they're looking at Drake London. He's running across their face. Those guys pass it off. But what I want you to do is look at number 48. He opens away from the strong side. That's leaving the dig open. And look how far he drops. After that, look at 55. He's just guarding drafts. He lets Drake London go. He kind of sees Kyle Pitts, but he eventually lets him go to jump this dig underneath from Bijan Robinson. That's what they like to do. They like to jump things underneath. So you have to show them a lot of eye candy, which they did here with the drag, chip release, and then the release from the running back. It's a lot going on that side. So he's basically jumping anything underneath because that's their weakness. I want to say this one is Nate Landman. Nate Landman jumps on that from Bijan Robinson, and right after that, you see the dig for Kyle Pitts opens up, 10-yard gain on 2nd and 10, or maybe this is 3rd and 10, but it's an easy gain like that. Now, these aren't going to be some super big chunk plays, these one-play touchdowns like it's Madden. These are plays just to stay ahead of the chains or get first downs on 3rd down. That's what we need to do in this game. We need to be able to run the ball effectively. Haven't been able to do that, but if not, we need to be able to get chunk plays and move the chains with the pass game. And I think drive can be a concept that you can run 3-4 times a game to move the chains and keep us on schedule as an offense. Let's get into the next one. The next concept we're going to cover is something we covered a lot on this channel. There's no need for me to really draw it up or explain the concept. It's bow. If you don't know bow, it's basically a high-low read. If you're putting a linebacker or whatever zone defender in conflict, they either take the underneath or take the dig behind them. Either way that they go, you throw the other one. Basically, that's what it is. So the reason I'm showing a lot of Falcons clips is because they run a similar offense to how we are. They're both from our offense, and their offense is from that Sean McVay tree. So I wanted to show something similar in success in that, because they did beat the Rams just like we did, to show that this is a proven subject. Now in this, it looks like the Atlanta Falcons are going to be in base cover 3 if they don't rotate or move anybody. It's basically going to be 2 corners deep, 1 single high, 4 underneath. Regular cover 3. But what did I tell y'all? They love to rotate, and when they rotate, their eyes jump underneath. So what they actually do is they're going to rotate in the cover 2. That safety single high, he's going to rotate all the way towards the numbers. This corner is going to drop into a deep cover 2 zone. So if you're looking at that one side of the field, you could probably still be tricked into thinking it's cover 3. Then you're going to have a shallow 5 guys underneath. We know what cover 2 is. So with Nate Landman once again opening up to that middle of the field, you're going to have, I want to say that's Omar Speights beside him. He's going to be the defender in conflict for this bow concept. Now, Falcons do not throw this, but I just want you to see the open area that they did. You have this dig from, I want to say it's Darnell Mooney, and then you have that sit down route from Bijan Robinson. Omar Speights, he does what? We just talked about it. They love jumping underneath. Watch Bijan and how fast Omar Speights jumps towards him and leaves Darnell Mooney wide open. I'll pause it for y'all, but before Kirk Cousins throws it, there is such a huge gap for a window. If you throw it in anticipation, which we know our quarterback loves to do and is very good at, if you throw it in anticipation, there is a huge window for completion right here, and maybe even room to run. Since they're in cover 2, there's nobody in the middle of the field. It's a lot of green grass. Darnell Mooney could have hit his head on the goalpost. We don't have anybody do that, but there is a possibility. So I just want to show y'all that drive one in both, two concepts that I think we can run because we love throwing to the middle of the field with Bryce. He loves throwing digs. Those backside digs can get open against these rotated cover 2s and sometimes even cover 3. Now let's get into the next concept. Now this next concept is actually something we ran against the Rams. This is a proven concept that would have worked. Now on this play, the defensive lineman basically killed this play and Bryce had to scramble. I want to say he got a couple yards off of this, but I just want you to focus on the coverage and the concept. Let's draw it up. The Rams, they are in a cover 2. They did not rotate out of this. They're going to be in a cover 2. But what did I tell y'all about Nate Lamb and Omar Speights? They love to jump underneath routes. So on the backside, we're going to run, or front side, I should say, we're going to run a smash concept, which is a corner out. Basically, it's against cover 2. It's going to take that cover 2 defender, that single high defender, not single high, this second cover 2 defender over top. He's going to have to go to that corner. The cover 2 shallow guy, that flat route, that flat zone defender, he's going to have to squeeze that corner so you can't throw it, and that leaves something underneath open, which will be that out. But that's not what we're focused on. That just takes away that second high defender, and that's what opens up the backside read here, which is levels. Levels is another dig read, something to throw over the middle of the field that Bryce will be able to throw a lot, and he likes to throw, that I think will work against the Rams because it works here. If it wasn't for this defensive lineman, it would have worked. Levels is basically a big, tall, about 10-yard dig from your slot receiver, which is going to be Tedero McMillan here. Then you're going to have two smaller in routes from your two outside guys. Very simple. But in this cover 2, Nate Lamb, what does he do? He allows Tedero McMillan to get deep. Cool. That cover 2 safety on the backside, he's way too deep to guard this route from Tedero McMillan. It's going to be a completion, maybe a touchdown. The front side cover 2 defender, he maybe could get there if he abandons his assignment, but he can't. That leaves the middle of this field wide open. Now, we do have a guy creeping, but if you throw with anticipation before he gets there, what Bryce does, it's going to be a completion and maybe a touchdown. But I just want y'all to look at Nate Lamb underneath. I'll circle him. Look at where his eyes go. He opens up to the strong side, as you should in cover 2. He then lets T-Mac go. Why? Because he wants to intercept this underneath route from Xavier Leggett. The Rams defenders love jumping eye candy underneath. That's their thing. So you have to take advantage of it in the intermediate game. These are 10 to 15-yard completions every time if you could take advantage of it. If we run 4 plays, 4, maybe 5 different drive concepts a game, complete 3 of them. That's 10 to 15 yards. If we run 4 or 5 different levels concepts a game, complete 2 or 3 of them, that's another 10 to 15 yards. You see how we're moving the rock? If we run bow like we do, maybe we complete only 2 bow plays. That's still another 10, 15 yards. That's about 12 to 13, 10 to 15 yard completions in a game. Obviously, that's in an ideal perfect world. We're going to have to mix in a lot of other stuff. But if you can aim for at least 2 to 3 completions on those type of concepts, you're going to be able to move the ball pretty good. But that's not all the concepts I want to talk about. There's one more thing that I want to discuss. So let's get into it. Now, I know I said when they rotate into cover 2, they don't like to play a lot of match. But what they do play match in is cover 3. So let's go back to this route chart, or this coverage usage chart. 16% of their coverages is cover 1 man. 35% is cover 3. The reason I single those twos out, those are both single high coverages. That is 51% of their coverage being a single high coverage. Let's get that out the way. What does that mean? You're going to leave your DBs, you're going to leave your cornerbacks on an island. The reason I kind of mentioned that is their cornerbacks are little. We've seen how we were able, with our receivers, our physically imposing receivers, 6'2", 6'1" for Xavier Leggett, 6'2" for Jalen Coker, 6'4" from Tedero McMillan. We have some very physically imposing receivers that can take advantage of a smaller guy like Emmanuel Forbes. We seen it in the last game. Jalen Coker was cooking him on those, early release go balls. He had a touchdown. He had a big, I want to say a 3rd down or 4th down conversion on that. We seen Tedero McMillan had the game-winning touchdown on that, which we'll cover here. But we know that they love to leave their DBs on an island alone. Let's look at this concept. It's going to be a double cross versus cover 1, or what some people call scissors. Basically, it's two crossing concepts deep downfield. This one is going to be from two slot receivers, but we had that game-winning touchdown on two outside receivers. And let's look at this Lions play where they run it with two outside receivers also. Now, I think this is going to be cover 3, but he rotates down and Cam Kitchens kind of rotates up. It's either going to be cover 3 or it looks like it could be cover 1 rob or something along those lines. Regardless, it looks like it was going to be a single high safety. Cam Kitchens jumps that play action. I mean, he jumps that play action. That leaves Emmanuel Forbes one-on-one with the speedster and Jamison Williams on the scissors concept, and that leaves them wide open for completion downfield. Not only that, Amon-Ra St. Brown was also open. So we see they're susceptible to jumping things, but also they did it against us. Let's look at that game-winning route for T-Mac. What do? Play action, a lot of eye candy underneath. It gets everybody eyes drawn underneath. Number 30 is too busy looking into the backfield. He lets Xavier Leggett go. That gives him so much separation that the safety over top, that one high safety, has to help him. So that leaves T-Mac and Emmanuel Forbes one-on-one. What do? We know we've been taking advantage of him all game. He's a smaller corner. We have physically imposing receivers. Just go give your guy a chance. And we see he made a play. It's really that simple. So we talked about getting those chunks where it's, maybe it's a 10-15 yard dig route off bow. It's a 10-15 yard dig route off levels. Or you start completing stuff underneath if they start dropping too high. It's something off a drive, something along those lines. But you need to take shots. You need to be aggressive. And if they're going to leave their corners one-on-one on the outside, I mean, shoot, they did it in that Jets game. I'll show y'all a couple of highlights of that. Leaving them one-on-one over top. If you like your safeties, like to bite, and you're going to leave Emmanuel Forbes one-on-one down the boundary against Tedero McMillan, against Jalen Coker, hell, even against Xavier Leggett, if we can get him there, throw it, Bryce. Make sure Bryce throws that ball and takes chances over top. I'm not saying that the Panthers will win this game, but I'm saying the Panthers will have a great chance at winning this game. Who knows how the defense will perform? If we can duplicate the performance we got against them the first time, I got the Panthers. If we do this, what I'm laying out, we take advantage of that middle of the field and those guys' eyes, and then the defense duplicates that performance, I got us moving on to the divisional. If Matthew Stafford throws for 5 touchdowns, it might be a shootout. But do not think that the Panthers do not belong and won't put up a fight, because there will be a fight. So do not be surprised, Panthers fans. We probably won't be because we got faith in our team. But for the rest of the NFL world, don't be surprised if this is a good game. Now, I'm about to die over here. So that's all I got for y'all. If you like the video, do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you think the Panthers will win this game. Who do you want to see in the divisional? If they do win, do you think it'll be close? Let me know. All the football discourse in the comments. If you're on mobile, hype this video. Share it with your friends. Go to that Patreon, patreon.com/TheRealBallWatcher. Go ahead and get you a free trial. Subscribe to it. Whatever you got to do. I'm out.